Hello everyone and welcome back to the breakdown. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to start a StoneBlock 2 server. We've gotten a ton of requests for how to make a StoneBlock 2 server in doing this video, so I thought we would go ahead and do it as StoneBlock 2 came out less than a week ago. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. But first, what if you want a server that is up all of the time? See, the server we're going to be starting here is going to be using your own computer's resources. And you're going to need a pretty good computer, at least 16 gigabytes of RAM, and at least a Core i7 4770K or any Intel 6th generation processor that's above a Core i3 to be able to run this server and be able to run this server specifically and play StoneBlock 2 at the same time. It's also a server only meant for your friends and your family, just people you know and people you trust. So what if you don't want that? What if you want a public server that anybody can join? What if you want a server, you've got a bad computer, and you can't run a server and StoneBlock 2? What do? Well, I recommend Apex Minecraft Hosting. At Apex Minecraft Hosting, you can set up a Minecraft server with just a few clicks. It is absolutely incredible. We use them ourselves. Very simple setup, very easy to use, and it will cost you less than $10 per month. Oh, and you don't even have to do things like port forward. You just literally purchase a server, click a few buttons, and you're done. That's what makes Apex so great. You can check out Apex at the first link in the description down below, thebreakdown.xyz/Apex. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and get on into this tutorial if you don't want to set up a server with Apex. So the first thing we need to do is go to the second link down below, and that will take you here. This is the FTB download page for StoneBlock 2, and basically what we're going to be looking for here is down here on the bottom right. See this? See where it says 1.12 server packs? You see that? Click on the top one here, FTB Presents StoneBlock 2, and then it should say server if you like hover over it there. Click on that, and then it'll take us off to here where we want to make sure this does say FTB Presents StoneBlock 2 server, which it does, and then we can click the little gray download button there, and it will download in the bottom left, just like that. You may have to keep this file, but you most likely won't. If you do, though, it is 100% safe. As you can see, it's been done about over 4,500 times at the time I'm making this video. By the time you're downloading this, it'll probably be quite a bit more. But we won't have to keep the file down there. But while that is downloading, we do need to download the Twitch app. Why? Because we need to install StoneBlock 2 locally as well to be able to play the server. As a matter of fact, all of your friends need to download StoneBlock 2 with the Twitch app. And if you want to send them a video on how to do that, you can check out the eye up there. We have a dedicated video on installing StoneBlock 2, but we're going to do it in this video as well. So let's go ahead and click the white download button right here in the center of the screen. You can find a link to this page in the description down below, and it will take you here to where you can download the Twitch app. It'll be the StoneBlock 2 download, basically. And then down here in the bottom left, that will download. Now, if we minimize our browser here, we'll have two things on our desktop. One is FTB Presents StoneBlock 2 server, and then Twitch setup. If these aren't on your desktop, no worries. Hit the Windows button in the top left of my screen. It's probably in the bottom left of your screen. It's probably down here in the bottom left. Click on that, and then type in downloads. Right like so, and then click on the downloads folder here. Most likely FTB and Twitch are in your downloads folder. Drag them to your desktop just for ease of use. Once these are on your desktop, we can go ahead and get started getting everything installed. First and foremost, we're going to install the Twitch app. So double click on the Twitch setup download you have here, click on install, and then once this finishes, it will open up the Twitch app. Now you will have to log into Twitch. I'm already logged into Twitch, so it's not something I have to worry about, but it is something you will have to do, and that is log into Twitch. Once you're logged into Twitch, you'll land here where you want to click on the mods button up here on the top, and then click on Minecraft. You have to click on a purple install button in the bottom down here, and then you'll be landing on a page that looks like this. Now, I already have StoneBlock 2 from a previous tutorial I did, so let me go ahead and delete this profile real quick because yours will look like this right here. It'll look no profiles installed. This is what it will look like. Go ahead and click on Browse FTB Modpacks, and then type in, right up here at the search bar, FTB Presents, or you could just actually type in StoneBlock right there. Boom. FTB Presents StoneBlock 2. Click on the purple install button there, and that will go ahead and install. I'm just going to drag this over here to the side so you can see it is installing right there, and we'll know when it's done, but we won't have to take up our main screen with it. Now let's go ahead and dive into this, which is our basically FTB Presents StoneBlock 2 server file. Now if yours isn't a zip file and it's a stack of books, that's fine. What you want to do is right click on it and then go to extract all and then click on extract. It will then go through and extract this file and then open up a folder on our desktop. We'll also be able to see the folder create over here. There we go. Look at it unzipping very quickly there. And once it is done here, we will see a folder opens up. Now, if your folder doesn't open up, you will have a folder on your desktop called FTB Presents StoneBlock 2. Go ahead and double click on that. We can actually delete this zip folder we downloaded earlier. So right click on that, delete, yes, make it go away. we can permanently delete it, that's fine, because all of it is right here. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and double-click on the FTB Install.bat. So double-click on that, and it will go through, run some things, and then it will close out of this file. Now, if you couldn't run that, what do you do? Is it the end of the world? No, it's not. Calm down. Here's what you need to do if you can't run that, or the next file we're about to run, which is the server start.bat. What you need to do is go to the description down below and go to this link. This is downloading the Java JDK, or just downloading Java in general. It'll do both. And what you need to do here is download the Java JDK, because you need that to be able to install and run any servers and do any work with Minecraft mods at all. You need this. So come here, download it. This tutorial walks you through all of that. Now then you should be able to run both the install FTB as well as the server start.bat. If you can't, then you need to run the jar fix here. And this is going to fix Java files to be able to be ran using your computer and using the Java SDK that you have just installed. So come here, go through this tutorial, download jarfix here, and go through everything, and it'll be all set up and good to go. But nevertheless, once we minimize our browser, we do have this set up, and as I've been mentioning, we can click on the server start.bat. So if we double click on that, it will go ahead and run, but it will fail out. The reason it'll fail out is because we need to agree to the Minecraft EULA. Once we do that, it'll be able to get things done. So as we can see, you need to agree to the Minecraft EULA to run the server. So how do we do that? Well, you should now have this EULA.txt. You see that? Go ahead and double click on it, and it will open up in Notepad here. You want to change EULA equals false to EULA equals true. Right down here at the bottom, see EULA equals true. It should look exactly like that. And as long as you agree to the EULA, that is fine and dandy, and we do. So nevertheless, we can go ahead and click File, Save there. And then we can go ahead and just close out of this. Now, typically, you should be able to press any key to continue. You should be able to type in here, but for some reason, you can't. And on the StoneBlock 2 server file, I don't know why you can't. But we should just be able to click the X and be okay. Most of the time, you never want to do that. You want to type stop and hit enter, but we have to go ahead and click the X. At this point, we can go ahead and again, double click on the server start.bat file there, and it will go ahead and get things running. This time, it won't fail out, and it will actually start the server. Now, we can actually see over here in the Twitch app, if we bring it back into view, that StoneBlock 2 is now installed because we have the purple play button. If we go ahead and click on that purple play button, it will go ahead and launch up the Minecraft launcher that we all know and love. You will then need to log into the Minecraft launcher with your Minecraft username and password, the same one you use to play normal Minecraft, the same one that you use on Minecraft.net. You'll enter here because this is the normal Minecraft launcher. Once you're here, you're going to have to click the three little lines up here at the top and then go over to launch options. In here, you should have FTB Presents StoneBlock 2. Click on that, and then you want to add more RAM down here at the bottom. See where it says JVM arguments? I would recommend changing XMX3072 to XMX4072 at least, but I'm going to dedicate a bit more RAM to StoneBlock and make it 5072, which is about 4.5 gigabytes of RAM. I'm also going to change the resolution here to a higher resolution. This isn't something you have to do, but it's just going to make it easier for you guys to see everything later on. If I can get the resolution correct. There we go. Now we go ahead and click Save. We can go back over to the News tab, confirm that StoneBlock 2 is selected by clicking the little green arrow next to the play button, and then clicking FTB Presents StoneBlock 2, and then clicking Play. Now, StoneBlock 2 will go ahead and open up while our server is opening up. We can go ahead and minimize the Twitch app. We don't need that open anymore. And as you can see, the server is starting up over here. Don't be alarmed by the amount of yellow or red that you see. Any errors like that are perfectly fine, and you just need to run through them. It's not the end of the world. It'll be okay. Now, you're going to see that it might hang up there. Do you see that? It hung up for just a second, but then it continued. Just let it do its thing. Just don't touch the server back here while it is running. Once it is up, we will actually be stopping the server to then be able to port forward. You do need to port forward for your friends to be able to play on this server, so that is something you need to keep in mind. However, at this time, I'm just going to go ahead, let everything start, and I'll show you what it needs to look like and what you need to be looking for to know when your server is started up. So our server is now loaded up, and as we can see, Thaumcraft is stopping Aurora. Whenever you see Thaumcraft stopping Aurora, thread for dim, it doesn't matter what the dim says, but whenever you see this right here, stopping Aurora for dim, you know that it is up and your server is started. Now, one thing I will say is it's saying it can't keep up. Did the system time change? Or basically your server is already lagging with no players on, so we're going to fix that issue in addition to going ahead and port forwarding. But to do all of that, we need to stop the server. So on the first load up, it took a while. Every load up after that will be a bit quicker, but it is still a slower process, just like opening StoneBlock is. Once you've typed in STOP and hit enter, it will go ahead and say exiting and then press any key to continue. So let's go ahead ahead and do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and drag StoneBlock 2, if it'll let me, there we go, over here to the side. That way we don't have to keep it in the same menu, but we can still see it opening over there. Now once you're in here, you want to do a few things. First and foremost, let's go ahead and add more RAM to StoneBlock 2. This is pretty simple. You see this settings.bat file down here? Go ahead and right click on it and then click edit. It might say, are you sure you want to open this file? Yes, we are. We're 100% sure. Go ahead and click more info there and then click run anyway, and it will open up this right here. Now to add more RAM to your server, you can see Java parameters here and then come over to where it says max RAM equals. This max RAM equals is the amount of RAM that your server has. I would recommend upping this to at least 4048, if not even higher. The more players you have, the more RAM you'll need, and I would recommend about 1/4 GB of RAM for every player on your server, plus at least 2 GB to run StoneBlock. So for example, if you're going to have 4 players on your server, you'll need 3 gigs of RAM. So let's go ahead and just run this at 4 just to keep things safe. If we go ahead and do file save here, we'll then be able to port forward. To do that, we need to go to the server.properties file right here, open that up by just double clicking on it. If it asks you what you want to open it up with, just click Notepad. And then we also need to come up to the top left for me. It's in the bottom left for you, this Windows icon. See that in the bottom left of your screen? Click on that and then type in CMD. You will then have a command prompt here. Click on command prompt, and in command prompt you want to type IP config, IP config, exactly like that, and hit enter. And this is the information we need to be able to port forward. So we have our IPv4 address here, that's our local IP to our computer, and then we have our default gateway, which is how we can access our router here in a second. First off though, we're going to be using the IPv4 address, so come over here to your server.properties file and find where it says server-IP equals. See that right there? You want to type your IPv4 address in right next to your server IP. In my case, that is 192.168.1.123. Your IPv4 address will be different from mine, so whatever yours is over here in the command prompt, go ahead and type it over here in the server properties. Now, we're not done to the server properties yet, because we need to find the level type. See this where it says level type equals default? We need to change that to level type equals void world. VOID-WORLD. See that? Level type equals void world, exactly like I have it there, deleting where it said default and in its place putting in void world. StoneBlock is now open over here. Immediately I'm going to go and turn off the music. It hit us for a second there, but no big deal. And now that StoneBlock is open, we'll just again keep it kind of over here in the corner because we don't need it open. What we do need to do is come over here to our server properties, confirm that we do have level type equals void world right there, and that our IPv4 address is next to server IP, which it is, and we can go ahead and click file save. Now if we close out of the server properties, at this point we need to port forward. Doing this is pretty easy. Go to your browser, right, whatever browser you use, and then open up a new tab. In that new tab, take your default gateway that is over here. In my case, it is 192.168.1.1. Whatever yours is, type it in up there in the search bar where you normally type in a website, and it will give you some sort of login box. Most likely your login box is going to be completely different from the login screen you see here, and that is perfectly fine. You still need to enter in information here to access your router. What information do you enter in here? Well, it's going to depend on your router, but luckily we do have a link in the description down below that will take you here. This is how to find your router's password, and it gives you 5 different methods on finding your router's password, and everybody that I know of has been able to find their router's password using these methods. First off, talking to the person who set up your internet, all the way to unfortunately having to contact your ISP, but most people find it by method 3. So there you have it. Go through this and you'll be able to get your router's password. Once you have it, you need to come back to your router and log on in. Let me go ahead and do that real quick, and I will see you after a quick jump cut. There we go. I have now logged into my router. As you can see, waiting for everything to load, and once you've logged into your router, you'll see a screen that most likely looks completely different from what you see here. But that is okay. Not only do we have a tutorial on it, which you can check out in the description down below, and this tutorial shows you how to port forward on the most popular routers that are out there today. Everything from Linksys, which is what we're going to be using here, to Netgear, to Verizon, to even AT&T routers. It is all covered here. It is all broken down in this video right here in the link in the description down below. So go here, go over this video, and you should be able to port forward. Even if your router isn't listed here, go through the entire video, watch me port forward on every single router, and most likely you'll figure out what your port forwarding is called. I'm also going to be going over some names in this video, so let's go ahead and do it. First and foremost on our Linksys router, it is in security here. Now for you, it might be in apps and gaming. It might be in NAT gaming, NAT gaming. It might be in NAT forwarding, NAT forwarding. Yours might just say port forwarding. Yours may also be in a security section. Yours may be in advanced. It might be in advanced. It might be in admin advanced. It might just be right there up front and forward. It might just be port forwarding on your router. For me, it is in security. Then it is in apps and gaming. See, that it could be in apps and gaming, and it is for us as well. Then we have to click on single port forwarding here, right? See that single port forwarding? And then here is where we can finally port forward. For you, it might just be apps and gaming, and then boom, there's port forwarding. For you, it might be NAT gaming, and there's port forwarding. For you, it might be in advanced, and then port forwarding / port triggering. But with those names, you should be able to click around your router and find port forwarding. You can't really mess anything up, so just click around until you see port forwarding, and you'll be good to go. So once we're here, what we want to do is add in an application name. This probably also could be called an ID for you or something like that. Basically, it's just a name to tell us why we're port forwarding this port. We're just going to type Minecraft here, the way we have a name for it. For a port, anything that involves port, whether it's external port, internal port, port 1 and port 2, whether it's local port and external port, whether it's local port and public port, whatever it says for port, doesn't matter. If it says the word port at all, you want to put 25565. For internal port, says the word port, right? So we're going to put 25565. For your protocol, you're going to do both, or you're going to do TCP/UDP, or UDP/TCP. Whatever you do, you want to make sure both protocols are selected. And if you can't select both protocols, no worries. Just port forward twice, one for TCP and one for UDP, but luckily we do have the both option here. For device IP, this is going to be our IPv4 address. Remember, we have it over here in CMD. We can see it is 192.168.1.123. So for us, 192.168.1.123. Now for you, you might just have a list of devices, like a drop-down box, and if that's the case, that's perfectly fine. Go ahead and select your computer that you're starting the server on for your device there within that drop-down box. Now, most people can at this point click save and then click apply, and their port forward will work perfectly fine. However, you might have the option for a public IP or an external IP, and if you do, you need your public IP address. Luckily, you're going to need your public IP address no matter what to join the server. So let's go ahead and go to the description down below, the breakdown.xyz/what's my IP, and it will take you here. And as you can see here, we do have our public IP address. Right there it is. And it is blacked out except for the last 3 numbers because, again, you don't want anyone to get your public IP. Why is that? Because they can get all this information over here on this side. That is blacked out again. This is your city, your state, your region. All of that stuff can be grabbed from your public IP address. They can also, anyone with your public IP address, DDoS your internet, meaning they can slow it down, take it offline, make it hard to use, things like that. That's why it's so important to just give this to your friends and family and not to anybody and everybody out there. It is also worth mentioning that if you use Apex Minecraft hosting, you don't need to use your public IP address and can just use their IP, and you can give that IP to anybody. And on top of that, again, it doesn't use your computer's resources. Nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and copy our public IP. If you were port forwarding and needed this, you would go back over to your port forward, paste that in as your external port, click save, click apply, click OK, whatever you need to do, and now your port forward is done. If we minimize our browser here, we can see StoneBlock 2 is open. Let's go ahead and just drag that over here. However, we do need to go ahead and do some stuff in our server file real quick. First and foremost, we need to delete the world folder. And then once we've done that, we need to run the server with the startserver.bat file. So double click on that, and now it's just a waiting game for the server to set up. Once the server is set up, we can use our public IP address to join the server. Let's go ahead and do a quick jump cut. There we go. The server is now started. As you can see, as I said before, stopping Aurora thread from Thaumcraft means the server is started. Now we can go ahead and click on multiplayer. We want to direct connect using our public IP address here. So we paste that in. Same public IP address you saw earlier, last digits are the same, all that stuff. So we can now join into the server, and we'll definitely see it over here as it like freaks out that a new player is joining, right? I mean, it will go crazy, opening up all sorts of things, doing all sorts of stuff, and just boom, the first time a player joins in. So just give it a second, and it will eventually load up. This could take a minute or two for you to join on in, but it looks like it's actually moving pretty quickly today. So once we get on into the server here, it will start, it will get going, and then we'll be able to see that StoneBlock is working. Most most likely, if you're spawning in and not in a stone block, it's because you didn't set your default world type to void, right? You didn't set level type to void. Go do that. We did that earlier in the tutorial. But as you can see, we are inside of a stone block here. Everything is up and working. Now, if your friends can't join your server, it is an issue with your port forward, but it could also be a antivirus or a firewall, either on your computer or on your router, blocking the connection. Usually we see firewalls and then followed by antiviruses for a reason friends can't join. So there you guys have it. That is how you can start a StoneBlock 2 server. Enjoy it. It is a mighty fun time. StoneBlock 2 is a huge improvement over StoneBlock 1. And yeah, overall, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more awesome content like this. And overall, if you are having issues getting your server started, Apex makes it very easy in just a few clicks. Check out Apex at the first link down below, thebreakdown.xyz/Apex. Nevertheless, guys, my name is Nick. This has been The Breakdown Tech, and I am out. Peace.